Hey, what's up guys, it's Atrix here. I have some amazing videos lined up for you guys, but I wanted to unfortunately cover the death of Citra Emulator Android. Yeah, straight up, it is very controversial because along with Yuzu Emulator Android, Citra Emulator has also been done for. It is over, it has ended, and years of hard work. It is also actually the emulator which made my career from my old channel. I used to cover Citra Emulator videos daily. The progress of Citra Android was really amazing, and to see this day where Project Citra is no longer here, it's just very sad. But in today's video, I'll be talking about the future of 3DS emulation on Android and PC and why did this actually happen. Because as you know, Yuzu emulator closing, why should it affect Citra emulator's development? The main reason is because Nintendo decided to specify in its settlement that Yuzu developers need to stop working on any other developers and need to hand over all the source code of their emulators to them. Well, basically, Yuzu Emulator is created by the same developers who created Citra Emulator, and Nintendo doesn't really want developers of Yuzu to work on any other emulators on their consoles. Probably that might be the case, or the Yuzu developers just fed up and said we surrender emulation development in general. Because I have seen a tweet from one of the main developers who worked on Yuzu Emulator as well as Citra Emulator. He mentioned that he's done with emulation. Might be a case of developers deciding that they no longer want to continue with emulation. Don't forget that Nintendo did not go after Citra Emulator. Nintendo doesn't really go after any old emulators. They went after Yuzu because it affected their Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sales by quite a lot, and I understand where they were coming from, because as a huge company you release a product on which your employees have worked hours and hours and it gets leaked straight up and millions of people try it out early. It's just a complete mess to a legendary series with so much hype involved, and that's the main reason why they decided to go after Yuzu Emulator. And in the crossfire, as the Citra developers created Yuzu, they had to stop Yuzu, so they also decided to stop Citra Emulator Android. So is it now not ethical to use Citra Emulator? Is Citra Emulator not legal like the Yuzu Emulator? Well, the answer is pretty simple. No, Citra emulators can still be used on your Android devices or PCs. Only thing is that you won't get any regular updates from it because the project has been stopped. Now Citra Emulator was really well optimized. It was at a very good position even when it was shut down. So most of the titles were running flawlessly. There were very less graphical issues and the gameplay experience was overall very playable even on devices with MediaTek processor. Now as you know, Citra MMJ as well as official Citra Android, these were two 3DS emulators for Android, and for PC there are multiple 3DS emulators, like a recent 3DS emulator which was just released I guess around a year ago. It was Panda 3DS Emulator. So you can switch to Panda 3DS Emulator Android if you want to try out something new, something fresh, and a new 3DS emulator which is not related to Citra, because we have seen a lot of Citra emulator folk versions even for Android, like Citra Black Edition and much more. I am remembering my old days of covering Citra emulator folks, but that's not the case. It won't be affecting that much compared to Yuzu emulators shutdown. So moving forward, there will be few forks of Citra emulator even for PCs with which will be published under different names, and you will also get other projects like I mentioned before, Panda 3DS Emulator. It is also being developed for Android devices. I have already covered its beta builds. You can check it out on the iCard above. So the future of 3DS emulation on Android or PC is not that bad. It's just that we lost a legendary project in Crossfire, but it is what it is. We'll have to accept it and move forward. There was another question in my previous video: what do I actually think about Nintendo going after other emulators like Strato Emulator Android, Ryujinx Emulator PC, or other emulators like EggNS, etc. Well, EggNS might not be banned at all because it is from China, and I'm not really sure about the copyright laws there, and it isn't even scared of stealing Yuzu emulators code. So it's just a lot of mess. I won't be talking about it. Other emulators like CEMU, Dolphin Emulator, etc. I think they will be fine because, as I mentioned before, Nintendo doesn't really care to go after older emulators unless they want to, because it's their choice. I think for now there won't be any major actions taken against emulators. There might be a new case further down the line, but for now I think it will be peace for a little bit of time. So yeah, that was all about the latest emulation news and the future of 3DS emulation on Android or PC. I will cover some new upcoming 3DS emulators on my channel. So if you guys are new here, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on all notification as I upload similar videos on my channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye and take care.